Okay, watching Howard Roseman in the draft, I was I was kind of skeptical about the strategy of what he was trying to do until seeing round 1 to 3. When we got to round 3, and then I saw that Howard Roseman was cooking, poetically done. We're gonna go through that in this video, so stay tuned. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I done fell so many times, but I got back up. I've been drugged through the mud, like it ain't been enough. I'm still going, 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 still going. And I done felt so much pain that I wanna give up, but I can't stop now, cause I've been through too much. I'm still going, 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 still going.
Let's start from the top, the very top. Makai Lemon top. We went and got Makai Lemon, a wide receiver, and you know what? Mostly a slot wide receiver. Why it had me baffled because we had Devon Wicks. We had Devontae Wicks already, and they're the same player. Only Devontae is taller. He's taller than Makai Lemon. So you ask yourself, didn't we sign him to an extension? Wicks, we signed Wicks into an extension. So a 2-year extension. So you would think, okay, that's our slot guy. But you go and look at the upside of this kid right now. He is very productive in the slot. My thing was before I get into the pros of him, my thing was while thinking, nobody drafts a slot in the first round. Nobody go gets a slot in the first round. So the it kind of confused me of what we were trying to get done. But you go back and you look at the tape of this kid. This kid is doing things in the slot that other slots don't do. High pointing balls. He can play outside. Um, he's a 4-5 guy. So he can't play outside much, but he can. He does these speed releases in which I follow Avante. Um, I'm sorry, slot. It's an old slot for the Philadelphia Eagles. I follow him much, and he's been doing some breakdowns of players. And one thing he does is he talked about the speed releases. And if you're running a 4-5, you can't do many speed releases, because you don't have a lot of speed at the next level. So they would have to fix that. Um, he blocks with dog like intentions. Um, so you know what I'm saying? You get that and you put all that together, you can get a very good player in your slot and or on the outside, depending on where you want to move him. And really, he has to get the one-on-ones. He just has to win the one-on-ones, which he was very, very, very good at doing that in college. Now he has to do that in the NFL. But he'll be playing the third best corner on each team. Maybe some coverage brackets with some linebackers and stuff. But with all that in there, you know what I'm saying? Other weapons shine because they're wide open. If you're bracketing Devontae Smith and you're bracketing this guy, Makai Lemon, you get tight ends that's wide open in the fields. You get big running holes. You get all this thing happening, so he can't come and contribute right away. Um, Devontae Smith and Makai Lemon linked up immediately. If you follow my page, I've been dropping shorts of Devontae Smith and Makai Lemon at the Sixers game. And I don't know, it's like I'm looking at it and it just looks like Devontae Smith is doing a service. He don't look happy to be out there. That raises a little bit of question for me. But he did make the he did reach out, I guess. He did go out there and do it, but you know, he looked like he'd be rather doing something else. But you know what I'm saying? It's cool that they got together so fast. He said Jalen Hurts hit him up soon as he got drafted, congratulated him and everything. So hopefully these guys is waiting to see what his work ethic is. I think that's one of the things that Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts bonded over was the work ethic. Them willing to do all that work or wanting to do all that work. This kid's a dog. But his work ethic is going to bond him with the teams, which I think is very necessary with what I've been seeing of him outside with Devontae Smith. Um, they don't know what his work ethic is, and that's going to determine how they work with him. So that's one thing I think we crushed it with that. Because after seeing this kid, man, he can be really, really good. The potential for him could be really, really good. Then we went and got Eric Source. I'm sorry. We went and got him, and I said this when he got drafted. If you follow me, you seen it. I put it on my TikTok. I put it on my YouTube. He's got to get up to blocking. Um, he is a way better athlete, way better pass catcher than Greg Calcaterra maybe ever could have been, but they blocked the same. We didn't like Greg Calcaterra because they blocked the same. This kid, um, you can teach blocking though. You can teach good technique blocking. He's not going to blow anybody off the ball, but you can teach good technique blocking. That's all he really needs to know is not to get pushed all the way back. Be an anchor, learn how to block. That's it. And everything else will work itself out. So we killed it with that. That kid, that man, it's exciting to see. He's like a wide receiver and a tight end body. There's going to be no linebackers that's going to be able to cover him. Um, there's going to be no safeties that's going to be able to cover him. He's big body, so there might not be. Then he runs tough. He runs hard after the catch, so there might not be any corners that's going to be able to, you know, tackle him. So safeties and linebackers can't cover him, and corners can't tackle him. He is an X factor pick. He is an X factor pick. He's an X factor game plan decision move making. You're not going to be able to go into games out game planning against him. So I think that is going to be big, and I think we got a lot of yak in the first two picks of the draft. We got a whole lot of yak. With AJ Brown being gone, not officially moved on, but with the assumptions that he will not be here next year, we would have got a whole lot of yak to supplement. A whole lot of yak between Makai Lemon and Eli Stowers. There's a whole lot of yak between those two. And then we move on and grab a edge rusher. I thought before when we grabbed Makai Lemon that we were comfortable with the edge rushers that we had. Harry Roseman had a different plan, and he went out to get the edge rusher that we had been thinking that was out there. We had talks with the Minnesota Vikings about, and they're to get uh um I almost called him Eric Greenlaw. Didn't I? Greener. I destroyed his name, but I'm gonna put him up. I'm gonna put him up so y'all know what I'm talking about. I had a brain fart right in the middle of talking, but yeah, we went and grabbed him, and this is a legit pass rusher. He has moves at the beginning of the rush. He's not just pushing to make a or get something after you scramble out of the pocket. This guy is going to be able to get there in 2 seconds or 3 seconds or less. So that's going to make the back end look really, really good as far as the corners are concerned. One thing that we did not get that kind of concerns me a little bit is safety. Maybe they are going to move Coop to safety. I think that would be the best move. We have a nickel corner who can come out and tackle at nickel. Who can cover at nickel, and you can move Cooper DeJean outside. I mean, a little farther back with the smarts and stuff like that. Him and Quinyon Mitchell, smarts that they already display. Cooper DeJean can do safety. He can play safety. They like him in nickel, but he can play safety and be a way more athletic safety than Reed had ever been. So he's been around Reed. He knows it. Reed would help him at safety. He tried a little bit of safety last year. Um, Vic is comfortable with him at safety. So we'll probably draft a safety. We'll probably draft a corner later in the rounds. We got 2 7th-round picks, so we're going to clean up some guys who weren't even thought about. So I do believe we'll get some maybe some depth pieces, but nobody who'll start immediately put a impact on the team immediately. And we really don't know who our free safety is or our strong safety is. As of right now, it could be Marcus Epps, who played really, really good. He played really, really good at safety. And he filled in for Andrew McCooper. They play the same safety position. And you can move Marcus Epps back to the side. But you would probably want somebody who's a game changer, and Cooper DeJean is that. So I think that they really, really value Cooper DeJean, and maybe he will be moving to safety. You stay on the field every down because if you go to base defenses, you can still have Rick Woolen out there, and then you have Cooper DeJean in the back with Quinyon Mitchell. Um, Decide to go nickel, keep Coop back there at safety, and um, grab you put Michael Carter second, and nickel, and you have the nickel safety. Which call I just think it's the best way to go. I think it's the best way to go with making Coop a safety. He can do it at high level, and you really kind of keep the same guys out there because chemistry is key, and you switching around the positions and stuff kind of messes with the chemistry. One guy comes on, he comes off at base defenses. So I think they really should run it like that. We're gonna find out in camp. But in our last thing before I let you guys go, uh, Markel Bell, Mountain Man, Markel Bell. Mountain Man is a huge offensive tackle, 6'9", great feet. He's really good in run. Um, and running the ball. He's really, really good at that. He pass protects really well. I think one thing that is, if I wanted to criticize him about anything, is he has to get his strength up because the speed to bull rush looked like it gave him a little bit of trouble. Not enough trouble for him to give up any sacks. I didn't see him give up any sacks, but he got pushed all the way back in the pocket, all the way back in the pocket. But that'll help with the strength and condition training. He's going to get some guys who are going to help his technique for those situations, but he has some large arms. It's going to take people so long to get around him, just to get around him. And if he's moving his feet, it's going to be almost impossible to get around him. What, 36, 37? So we've been looking for successors. Holland Pierce, Cameron Williams, and now Makai Bell. Not Makai Bell, I'm sorry, Markel Bell. Markel Bell is somebody who they all get to compete to be that successor. So strong 3 days for I mean strong 3 rounds for Harry Roseman putting this team together, man. And we have questions like any other team, but I want y'all to answer this. What grade would you give Harry Roseman right now looking at this draft? In the middle of this draft, I give Harry Roseman like a minus. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the questions, but he killed it. Stole a pick from the Pittsburgh Steelers. As they were telling this kid that they were going to draft him, moved up. You know, we don't have any picks in the 4th round, but we have 5th round, 6th round, and 7th round. 2 picks in the 7th round. So he actually went and got more picks. He went and got not all the needs, all known needs from us fans, known needs, what we can see. So I think it was a great draft for Harry Roseman. And that's all I got for y'all, man. Like, comment, subscribe, turn those post notifications on so y'all start missing these videos, and we out. Let's go, Birds.